This episode is brought to you by Battleborn Batteries, the best name in the RV and marine industry. These lithium batteries are designed and assembled in the USA, backed by a 10-year warranty. The best solution for your battery anxiety. So go check them out at battlebornbatteries.com.
You are listening to Beyond the Wheel, a podcast about the people and ideas that drive the RV community forward.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Beyond the Wheel. Joining us today is Eric and Tami of TechnoRV. TechnoRV is a company that provides technology solutions for RV'ers, as well as education, not only on the products they sell, but also holds seminars across the country on tire and electrical safety. So without any further delay, let's jump into the conversation with Eric and Tami.
Well, thanks, Tami and Eric, for joining us today. And just as an introduction, can you tell us a little bit about yourselves and a little bit about TechnoRV?
Absolutely. So TechnoRV is an e-commerce site. It's technorv.com. And we sell technology products for RVs like tire pressure monitoring systems, electrical protection. We do a lot in the kind of the staying connected on the road side of things with Wi-Fi boosters and cellular boosters. So a lot of technology products that are popular with RVers and kind of keep them on the road connected and staying safe, making their trips more efficient with like GPS units and things like that. The other thing that we do in addition to our website is we go to a lot of RV shows every year. And this could be big RV shows or like owner group type rallies. This year we went to like 11 or 12 of them. And so it can vary from year to year, but that gives us time to get in front of RVers, find out what RVers are interested in, get to meet a lot of our customers, face to face. So that's another kind of part of our business model.
As personal people, we are full-time RVers for about four and a half years. You lose track of time out here. Parents of 3 adult kids that are off all doing their own thing. So it's just us on the road and loving life.
In 4 years, we've been to 48 states. We have gone to probably 25, 26 national parks. That's kind of something we enjoy doing.
Yes.
So we've seen a lot of national parks. And we just enjoy RVing. I mean, we love it. So that's what we're doing. And it's exciting. And then running a business from the road kind of adds a whole another element to that lifestyle.
So how did you get into the business? Was this something that you started after you were full-timing, or were you running this business first and then got into the full-timing, or which one came first?
I wish I could say we had the business first. That would have made it a lot easier to just sell everything and start RVing, but we did not. We actually jumped in to RVing without having any income to provide for the travel. It was strictly going to be savings, and we were just going to figure it out. It was just something we really, really believed that we wanted to do. We knew we wanted, whatever happened, we were going to do it. So we actually sold our house, got into the RV, and did not TechnoRV didn't come into play until about 6 months afterwards, when we realized that we didn't ever want to go back to normal jobs. So we had to figure something out. So TechnoRV came after we pretty much became full-time RVers as a way to fund our lifestyle.
Yeah, and we were actually still working like our regular job when we sold our house and kind of everything we own and moved into an RV. And then from there, we had kind of picked a date on when are we going to quit our jobs. And we just knew between that point and the date we were going to quit that we needed to figure something out on how to make money from the road. And TechnoRV, one of the, of course, we looked at the things like, hey, kind of with our experience, maybe we could consult and do, all the normal things that probably run through people's minds when they're thinking about how to make money from the road. And then it occurred to us that, there's businesses out there that are for sale. Hopefully they're income producing. They've already got some of the basic nuts and bolts in place, and you can buy them. And so that's what we did. We started searching for businesses for sale. We did with online brokers. We looked at all kinds of businesses. It wasn't just TechnoRV, but when we saw that one, it really kind of struck a chord with us, like, man, this could be the one. And then we started the process of really looking at the business and signing confidentiality agreements, getting all the accounting and all that, and taking a look at the numbers. From there, things started moving pretty quick for us.
The previous owner was a full-time RVer, so we already kind of got a view that it could be done from the road because he was already doing it from the road. So that gave us a lot of confidence. We were looking for businesses to run remote, but he had it already set up. He was the one that was going to RV shows, and he had that whole idea set up. He just wasn't big on the e-commerce side. He was very heavy on shows. So we saw a big opportunity there that if we keep the shows and we work on the e-commerce online side, we could really, grow this.
Yeah, we think buying an online business that already existed was just a great move for us. You can generally buy a online business for 2 to 4 times profit. If you and there's some gems out there if you really go look. Now you got to do your homework and really look into things, but this one, obviously what it is made sense for us. And then it was also at a point to where the guy that owned it had kind of about done all he could do with it. He was from the UK and he was going to be moving back to the UK. And so it was just perfect timing.
Did you guys have business backgrounds before you moved into this, or was it something you had to learn as you go?
Oh my gosh, yes. I was in education before, so I have taught. I've been school administrator. I've done curricular writing. I've done a lot in education, but administration, in a school, that's about my extent of any type of managerial type thing.
We knew nothing.
Right. It's a business degree, but it's not in what we needed it to be.
I was in human resources. Here's one of the biggest things that helped me, and I usually don't go this far back when kind of talking about this. In fact, I don't know if I ever have, but I was in human resources, and back in 2008 when the economy kind of took a turn, I worked for a major corporation, and they were having a lot of cutbacks, and I was the person doing that. I was the person having to pull in a group of 100 people or whatever, and then sitting down with them individually and trying to help them figure out, all right, you don't have a job. And people were just terrified, really. And it really affected me. And I was thinking, man, what if somebody came in and just did that to me? Would I be okay? I talked to Tami about this and determined that no, we probably wouldn't be. We had debt and things that don't work very well for potentially not having a job. And so, I didn't know that was going to work out to our benefit, but we started doing the whole Dave Ramsey thing at the time and getting out of debt. So we were really laying the groundwork for what we were ultimately going to do later on, but we really didn't even know that's what we were doing at the time.
But not enough groundwork to know how to run an e-commerce.
No.
We were lucky enough to have a good friend, family member that was in IT. That was his background, was developing websites. So he was really helpful in the beginning, just helping us understand what even goes into it. We're both learners. The idea of learning new things did not intimidate us. It excited us, but it was a lot of learning. Thank goodness in today's day and age, you can take so many webinars and there's so many great YouTube videos, and there's just if you're willing to learn, there's just plenty out there to learn from. So we had a just big learn. And matter of fact, when we bought the company in April, we didn't even go to an RV rally till the next January because it was just hunker down and learn pretty much for 8 months, 7, 8 months.
Yeah. Now we're doing internet marketing with Google, Yahoo, Bing. We're doing ClickFunnels. We've got Infusionsoft. So we're doing CRM type stuff. So we're in it now, man.
Wow. And it's only been a couple of years.
Yeah, it's 15. So it's been 3.5 years.
And you were just speaking Greek to me. I didn't understand all that.
Yeah, I didn't understand
any of that stuff. So.
We were trying to show off now that we actually know
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know any of that either. The person that you purchased the company from, did he stay on with you guys for a little bit and help do a transition and show you kind of the ropes or anything at all? Or did he just say, all right, this is all yours now?
Eric's laughing because yet again, we actually signed the paperwork and he moved to the UK. I think one flew out the next day. It was so...
He was gone.
Yeah. We spent 2 days in person with him just learning the back end of the website just so we could actually operate it. And he did give us 30 or 60 days where we could call or, but he was in the UK, so our timing was really off. We'd have to almost email back and forth if we had issues. So we did not have as much support as we would have liked, or if we ever would have done it again or recommend to others. Build some more support time into it.
we had to get up to speed like immediately. Literally we signed the paperwork and we're like, okay, it's ours. And like the phone number was now routed to us, and like the phone rang, and we're looking at the phone like, what do we do with that? And I'll never forget the first phone call. It was this RV'er, and he wanted to know, we sold this tire pressure monitoring system, and he wanted to know how to turn it off. And I'm thinking, surely the owner of TechnoRV would know how to turn off this tire pressure monitoring system. I have no clue. And so I immediately started to Google how to turn it off. And I realized that RV'ers, including myself, like to talk about kind of, our travels and all that. So I just started making conversation. Hey, where are you at? And all that. And then, when we were done, it was like, oh, you hold this button for 3 seconds. And he's like, oh, you're a genius. So it was, great. But, we really pride ourselves in knowing our products well. And so obviously, and that's something we had to grow into really quickly. And, but that's just kind of an example from the beginning that we kind of got off to a rough start.
You talk about knowing your product. Your tagline that I like a lot is learn here, buy here, and get support here. I think that's something that is greatly missed when you go into these box stores nowadays, whether it be a Walmart or Best Buy or anything like that. Can you talk about a little bit why that was important for you guys to be on an online service, but still feel that you have that support, that you can ask questions and help the customer learn about their own product?
From the beginning, it was never a question that we wanted to go the information as far as educating our customers or potential customers. I think that part of it, I liked the business just because of my background. I enjoyed helping others learn and so forth. It was important for us to know our products well. We'd go to the manufacturers, spend a day with them learning. It was super important for us. But as far as the tagline, I'm gonna let Eric explain that one.
So what we realized is that people were really good at learning from us and getting support from us, but they missed that buy here part of it. So they would come, and it was like, so people are coming to our site, learning from us, going and buying the product elsewhere, like on Amazon or something, and then calling us for support. And I'm like, this is not a good business model.
Wow.
So we really wanted to just say, hey, we wanted to somehow let people know up front that, hey, not only can you learn from us, we'll give you a great buying experience. Like we write information guides and all kinds of things. You can call, chat, email with us or somebody that works with us. And so that's the learn here. The buy here is just a good buying experience. Lots of information on the site as far as the products and good checkout process. And then after the sale, the get support here, we have something called our learning series. And basically we write our own instructions for a lot of our products. And a lot of them include videos, and because a lot of times the directional guide that comes with some of these technological products are a little bit rough. So we make them kind of easier to understand. Tami used to be in education, so we figure we'd use that to our advantage because she used to write curriculum. So we said, hey, we need to come up with a tagline, and that's what we came up with, and it's what our whole business model is really based around. I think it's really helped just in a short tagline to kind of get the message across.
When you're competing online against, let's just say Amazon or any other large, company that can easily take the share, you've got to set yourself apart. So us naturally, and what we wanted to do helps set us apart. We asked ourselves when we bought the company, we're like, why would anybody go online and buy from us? That you're a drip you're nothing in the internet, We had to spend some time and really say, who are we going to be? Why would you buy from us? Well, we're going to take great care of you. And that's the number one thing when we make decisions in the business, is it centered around what we believe, which is just we appreciate people spending money with us and we're going to take good care of you.
I have to say, I did the learning series for the tire pressure monitoring system, and I thought it was really good. Definitely a valuable part of buying from you guys is getting that learning series and really understanding your product. And I also have to say that tire pressure monitoring systems saved me twice in 2 weeks. We had 2 flats in 2 weeks, and the tire pressure monitor let us know right away so we could get off the road and fix the flat before we had any real damage to our wheel or to our fifth wheel. So
that's awesome. That's good to hear.
Definitely a great product. And the learning series, like I said, is really a great way to introduce the product to people that purchase it so they understand it better. So you guys focus on electronic type products. Can you kind of give a range of what you sell? Do you get into solar or inverters or anything like that? Or is it mostly the gadgets like GPS, cellular boosters, things like that?
There was a point that when we were really starting to grow that we were like, hey, we've got this traffic. Let's just put more products out there, and that ended up being just kind of a bad idea for us. It was because we like to, again, be the experts on what we sell. So we take very seriously the products that we sell, and adding another product for us is not just, hey, let's just add another product, because I could do that all day long, but it's learning the product. It's writing an information guide on the product. It's making videos. It's doing that learning series on. So it's a big process for us to add anything.
Yeah, building a relationship with the manufacturers. We don't buy from like wholesalers or anything. I mean, if we're going to sell, we want to know the manufacturers. We want to know what goes into it. We want to be have a relationship to that level, not just pick something out that has good margins and stick it on the website. So like Eric said, adding something. We just recently added one new product, Smart Plug. I mean, that was months and months of going through and looking at the product and talking to the manufacturer and designers and so forth. So, I mean, in the future, I hope we do add stuff like solar and more, but it's something we're going to have to spend a lot of time in. So right now, it's more the GPS, tire pressure monitoring, electrical protection, Wi-Fi and cell boosters. We just added Smart Plug. So, and we have Berkey water filters because we love them.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's really, more on that technology side, and there's definitely more things from a technology standpoint that we could sell, and we do have our eyes on a lot of different products to roll out, but we're a very lean company, and so we have to designate our time in a lot of different places. So we do that very slowly, and that seems to have worked for us.
So when you guys say that you're a lean company, what type of staff do you have? If somebody calls in for support, is it always you guys taking the calls? Do you have technical support and things like that?
We originally were the only people answering the phones, and it actually was Eric. So for a period of time, it was Eric when you called in. It started getting to where it became a hindrance to our travel and fun.
Can't be having work getting in the way of that, right?
I have countless pictures of him on the phone, like in the background of this gorgeous national park, and he's on the phone, So we did grow to a point where we hired a full-time support person that does answer our phones. Eric's always available if it's anything that's more RV specific or too much for our support person, although he has learned all our products wonderfully. We do have a part-time person that does our shipping every day. So we have a little warehouse area, and she ships 5, sometimes 6 days a week in the mornings.
At some point, we realized not only could we not do everything, we realized we shouldn't be doing everything. With that, not only does that include just hiring somebody for like support, because I just couldn't handle it anymore. It was just too much coming in, and shipping was never an option. We were not going to, that would be a nightmare trying to ship from the road. But it also includes internet marketing side of things, CRM, that program Infusionsoft that we use. We've hired a company to help us build marketing campaigns through that. So the things that we either A, don't have the expertise in, or B, don't have the time to do, we either have an employee do it, or we use basically contract labor.
You have a warehouse somewhere where you store the products, and then as people order them, you have one person that that does all the shipping and receiving of new product. And then is your tech support person also located at the same place as the warehouse, or are they remote?
We've had 2 people actually fill that position. Our first person was remote, actually in Montana. Now our new person is in Alabama, and they're actually in Mobile, but the 2 locations are separate, which is why we're building out a new office warehouse right now where everything will be in the same place.
Yeah, we'll build it out. Hopefully within a month or so we'll be in it. And it just makes sense for just the efficiency of the business for the person answering the phone to also have direct contact with the warehouse. Things shipping out, maybe returns are coming back and somebody's calling in and asking a question about, has my product shipped or something, and it's just going to make it a lot easier and more efficient to do it that way.
You had mentioned that you guys don't want to just go out and start selling everything. What's your decision process as far as which products you choose and why do you choose them?
I mean, it's primarily what we would use or be able to test, and it has to be obviously very low failure, high reliability, meet a lot. Like, for example, we were looking at a monitoring system. That's one of the things we're really just trying to find that works for RVers, that does both video and temperature and so forth. And someone came to us with one to test, and it was so difficult to install. I mean, it was not going to be something wireless. It was going to be a big deal. And although it ticked a lot of the boxes for us, the install was just not something that we thought would be a convenient thing for RVers. So that's something we were looking for ourselves. I would not say we look at market trends, but like what Eric said, we're at RV shows 10, 11 a year. We stay in touch with what RVers are asked. We have customers ask us all the time, hey, we're looking for this, or do you guys carry this yet? So we're not doing any research as far as that.
It's more face-to-face type stuff. We have a very active email list. We get people email us a lot and say, hey, are y'all going to be selling this? And, we'll just start gathering that information. And like she said, that monitoring, like monitoring the inside of your RV while you're away from the RV, is something that we have had a lot of people ask us about and just haven't found the right one. I've got some phone calls into some companies that do that on kind of the home side of things to see if we can bring that to the RV side. But it's a process. We don't rush anything like that.
I think that sounds great.
Yeah, we just want to make sure it's done right.
I think it's also awesome that you guys are taking the time, like you guys tried to do this install yourself so that you have a hands-on experience with it and can decide that way. Is it right for everybody else also? Yeah,
well, if you read the marketing materials on a lot of products, that they all sound good. You kind of got to get your hands dirty, and this particular one, I was having to unscrew panels and do all kinds of things, and I was like, nah, this is not something that a lot of RVers are gonna, in my opinion, are interested in getting into. Most people are interested more of wireless things.
So you guys, you mentioned already that you attend several RV shows a year. But I think I read that you also do some education stuff with escapees. Do you also do educational seminars at the RV shows, or is that mainly, are you guys in the booth with your products?
I would say the majority of the shows we attend as vendors, if that's what they're referred to as. We do do seminars as well, usually 1 or 2, depending. We usually focus more on tire safety or electrical safety and things that relate to our product indirectly. But still information that's not just, hey, come buy our stuff. Actually just teach them some things about those 2 items. And we do teach at boot camp, yes. And the RV Online University, that's just the teaching. Whereas the seminars at shows, yes, we are there as vendors, and it's kind of a dual thing. You're teaching something, but hey, if you want any more questions, we're at the booth. So
the main things that we focus on at like RV rallies are like tire safety, electrical safety. We do an electrical seminar. And of course, again, Tami was a curriculum writer, so she's really good at putting together PowerPoints and things like that are really easy to understand. I'm usually the ones doing the seminar, but she makes me look good with these PowerPoints. And then at boot camp is kind of a little about everything. We do a lot of staying connected on the road type things with cellular and Wi-Fi. And then we, again, get into electrical and and tire safety. But the overall boot camp, there's more instructors than just us, so they really get into a lot. It's good for new RVers and experienced RVers. Everybody can learn something from it.
You guys are really hands-on. That's awesome. And you sound like you enjoy the teaching too.
We do. We don't get to teach together much. We've had a few opportunities at Work Camper Rendezvous. We were able to because it wasn't a booth type rally. It was just teaching. So we were able to teach together there. We're able to teach together at the boot camp. We're able to do that because we don't have a booth. But most of the time at a show, I have to stay behind and he goes and does the seminar. Rarely are we able to do it together, but we have a lot of fun doing it together. But yeah, we do enjoy that part of the business. We
call being on the road, getting to the rallies, doing the training and all that. We consider that part of what we call our ground game. And that's basically us getting out there, being with the RVers, learning, again, what obstacles RVers face and having great RVing experiences and how we can potentially help with that. Because we could really, like just with the online side, we could never leave Mobile, and we got plenty of work to do. But we just feel like that our business model lends itself to us being out there, and we enjoy that part of it.
So at the RV shows, do you guys bring a stockpile of products that people can purchase at the shows, or do they have to go through your website to purchase?
We generally bring 3 main lines to shows. We've done it a lot of different ways over the past 3 years. Some shows a few shows we brought like a little of everything, and it was a disaster because we take a lot of time with each customer, and we answer questions, and we learn a lot from our customers on what they're looking for. So we'd like to spend time with each person that comes to our booth. And when we have too many products, it's just, you can't spend the amount of time you need with the people that are there. It was overwhelming. So we've nailed it down to just 3. We bring 3 main product lines in between me and Eric. And then we usually have one of our manufacturers that'll come with us. We can pretty much man all 3 areas and answer the questions to the level that we like to answer them. But we will bring, like I said, 2 to 3 product lines. Generally, it's tires and electrical, because those are the 2 things that we believe all RVers should have. And then we'll bring a 3rd one, whether it be the GPS or maybe we brought Berkey's once. So that 3rd one kind of varies, but it's always tire and electrical.
Yeah, and it's something that we've just learned. I mean, if it was somebody new getting into this world that we're into, of going to RV shows and selling a product, that would be my advice. Don't fill your booth with just a lot of stuff. Be very focused on a product or 2 or 3, and make sure you know that product well and that you have plenty of time to spend with each person. The first year we went to the Tampa shows, the one Tami was talking about, we had all kinds of stuff in there, and probably 6, 7, 8 products lines in the booth. The next year we took 3 and we did twice the sales. So, and it was because we were able to spend more time with people on those products and really explain it to them.
That's not really intuitive. You'd think, you want to bring as much as you can to get more sales, but you actually did more with less. So that's pretty interesting.
That's one of the things we learned. The other thing we have learned is too much choice confuses people, or it makes them where it's easier to say, I'm going to go think about it. So if you do bring, say, there's 3 different GPS models that we have, but we only bring 1. We'll be happy to tell you that we have 2 if you're like, I'm not sure about this. But when we bring more than 1 GPS model and people have several to look at and play with, we have found sales are much lower than if we bring 1 and really teach them about that 1, and they don't have that feeling of, am I going to make the wrong decision? When
you mention electrical, are you speaking of surge protectors or something else?
Surge protectors. This year we're bringing the SurgeGuard electrical portable systems, because that's the newest model from SurgeGuard and has the highest level of protection available. We did bring the new smart plug to Hershey just to get some feedback and see what customers were saying about it, and just it was the first time we'd ever brought that. That's one of the newer products, but generally it is the 2 portable units, the 30 amp and the 50 amp.
Yeah, the SurgeGuard has done a really good job. Again, we've met with them many times down in Clearwater, Florida. Their engineers are just incredibly knowledgeable. Their product is really a high quality product, just with the components that they use. And then the protection levels are like, literally, if you just line it up with any competitor, the protection levels are higher than any other model out there as far as surge, as far as what it protects for. The SurgeGuard now actually can protect against things that are happening inside of the RV instead of just what's going on at the pedestal. So can detect, say, an open neutral condition inside of a 50 amp RV.
If you don't know that, if you don't spend the time to tell somebody or have a conversation with somebody about the product, they're never going to know that. They're just going to read what they read on social media or just hear, but they never get the real facts. So we enjoy being able to share that kind of information.
Yeah, so like, and with that, like if I was at a show and I was telling somebody, hey, it protects you against open neutral inside the RV, somebody might look at me like that I'm crazy, and what does that even mean? And then that gives me an opportunity to explain to them that, hey, on a 50 amp rig, you got two hot lines, they share a neutral, and if you lose that shared neutral, those 50 amp lines can come together and create maybe 200 volts on one side of your RV and 40 on another. And then it starts to kind of come clear that like, oh, that is important that if you lose that shared neutral.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of electrical upgrades to our fifth wheel. And that's one thing that I've learned is that you don't want to have anything wrong. Even a loose wire can have significant impact on the operation of your electronics in your RV. So anything you can get that will alert you to something like that is really a huge benefit.
Yeah, and then you think about, well, what are the odds of a wire coming loose? Well, it's pretty big.
Yeah.
you think about how we're banging down the road with these RVs. It's like it's the odds are big. That eventually you're going to lose a ground or something's going to happen. It's good to have the protection level for sure.
So, what has been your biggest challenge or couple of challenges of running an e-commerce business or a remote business on the road?
Oh gosh, there's so many. Let me think.
Yeah. So, I'll just start off with this. The part that really I feel like I struggle with, and that I still haven't really figured out, is how to grow the operations at a level that keeps up with the growth of the sales. Uh-huh. So we've done pretty good at growing the business and growing sales. After our first year, we actually grew our revenue by 7 times. And since then, we've doubled it the next 2 years. So we've done good at those things that we need to do. But the operations part of it has been a thing that like you got to keep up with it from a warehouse standpoint. You can't start having shipments go missing and things like that. You got to keep up with it from a support standpoint, because when revenue grows, everything grows, including returns, including customer calls, including support. Yeah, everything grows. So that's been a struggle for me to really try and figure out what's the right time to maybe add this. Or like right now, we're building out a new office and warehouse. Well, that's to keep up with everything that we're doing. So are we doing that at the right time or are we not? That's been probably one of the bigger challenges for me.
Yeah, Eric with the HR background does more of the that side of it. I would say, now that I've had the time to think about it, the other challenge is you know about a 10th, we knew about a 10th of what we needed to know. And so learning where that place is that you need to spend money to let somebody else do it, even though you feel like you can't afford it. The truth is a lot of times you can't afford to do it yourself. You're actually taking valuable time from doing what you do well and doing, it might take me 10 hours to learn something I could pay somebody an hour to do. Well, that means I could be spending those 10 hours doing something I'm good at, that I can produce on. And finding that balance of spending money for other people to do it has been challenging, because you have to do everything at the beginning, everything from, imagine all the jobs in a business and you do all of them, So figuring out where to let that go when it has been challenging, just figuring that part out.
That has been tough. Just working together as a married couple in 300 square feet. And like we were thinking about the other day, we're literally
be careful what you say.
Yeah. we're never more than, say, 15 feet from each other, like ever. But we genuinely enjoy, like, even before we did this, we enjoy being around each other.
I was still concerned. I wasn't as on board when we got the company, because what he just said scared me a little bit, because first of all, we'd never spent 24/7 together. We'd never lived in an RV. And then we're going to be coworkers. And because he filled out the LLC form and he got 51% and I got 49, technically he would be my boss, I guess. But anyway, that was a fear of mine at first. And to overcome that, we have very clear divisions. So in the morning when we wake up and things need to be done, let's say something happens with the warehouse or inventory, there's no question as to who's dealing with that. That's Eric's area. If something happens with marketing or social media or the accounting, there's no question who's dealing with that. So we have very clear divisions. And so we don't have to, we do work together a lot and we like it, but we don't have to have each other there to do our job. So I don't have to have Eric. We're very clear in what we do.
Yeah. And, we're 3.5 years into this. So we've learned a lot along the way about what was best for that. And I think, to Tammy's point, that for us, at least, it was the best thing to do was to kind of draw some lines on kind of who's got what. But the business is always with us. You know what I mean? We can be in a national park, but when you're a business owner, it's just in your head. We have business meetings, in national parks, on a roller coaster, or whatever it is. It's just always there, but we're loving it. It's like if we didn't love it, then we wouldn't be doing it. So that's kind of where we're at. And we're actually about to launch another company. We were driving down the road one day. We had a lot of 18-wheelers. You're out on the interstate and you're like, man, there sure is a lot of 18-wheelers out here. And it kind of occurred to me, man, these guys use the same things RVers do. They got cell boosters and GPS and dash cameras and all this. And I'm like, and there's a heck of a lot more of them than there are RVers. So we were like, you know what? We're going to build this one and utilize what we've learned and the business model that we use on the RV side for the trucker industry. So it'd be Techno Trucker. You go there now, it's down for maintenance, but it's, by the beginning of the year, we'll have that up and running. Again, we've got the warehouse space. We've got the relationships with the suppliers. We've got the, everything that we need from a, marketing standpoint, the programs and all that. So, RVing, the RV side, of course, is our priority, but we're going to start dipping our toe into that other side.
So this is a problem that many RVers have. I mean, I hear it everywhere we go, at least, is that a lot of times internet is either limited or not so good if you're at a campground. How do you guys manage to run your business from the road? Do you have any tips for people that need the connectivity? Are there any products that you guys use and sell that really help with internet connectivity?
We do. We laugh about this sometimes because when you take off traveling and full-time RVing, there is this sometimes conception in your mind that you're going to some third world country where there will not be cell signal or something. I don't know. And you feel like Nebraska's not going to have cell signal. So we pretty much run everything just through cellular. We have AT&T and Verizon hotspots, and then we use the WeBoost 4G XRV cell booster when we are too far from a cell tower to get a strong enough signal to do what we need to do. And that's pretty much it. We're not these big tech heads that have, big cabinets and tech, all that stuff. It's very simple because it's just a cellular. It's pretty much everywhere. It's just if it's too weak, we definitely use the WeBoost to increase the signal strength. But it's that simple, really just cellular hotspots and a booster. And
really the angle that we really come at everything is to make things easy because that's how we like it. We're not complicated people. I'm not an electrical engineer. So we just want things to be easy. And as it relates to staying connected on the road, we make that easy too. We wouldn't be able to run our business from the road, without our cell booster. And we do use the WeBoost 4G XRV model. But with that, of all the states we've been to, I can really only recall one place that we just, even with that, weren't able to get something. I mean, if you just are out in the middle of nowhere, it's going to be difficult. But
Pacific City, Oregon, if you're trying to decide where not to go.
that was definitely it. But it's not as scary and as complicated as some may try to make it out to be. Really, in my opinion, it's we're out here. We have 2 jet packs and a cell booster, and we're fine. We do use the Wi-Fi boosters at times that we have. I remember we were in Williams over by the Grand Canyon, and they actually had no cell anywhere around that particular spot, but they actually had Wi-Fi. So we were able to, use our Wi-Fi booster to kind of jump on that. So we do kind of have a bit of an arsenal, as far as technology to help with that. But if you've got that and you've got a cellular plan and some RV parks that have Wi-Fi, you're really going to be okay.
It's good to know. And you guys actually have a third business partner, I understand. Is that
He sleeps on the job a lot.
and his name's Lincoln, is that right?
Yes, we have he'll be 14 in February, an English bulldog named Lincoln. And
Cool.
when we took off 4 years ago, shortly into it, the vet told us he had an enlarged heart and he was in congestive heart failure, and put him on medicine and, get ready, a few months of life. And that was like 3.5 years ago. So he is Superman or something. I don't know. Doing good. Just the vet, when we take him back, they just look at us and they shake their head and they're like, just do what you're doing. I'm like, he likes the RV life. I'm telling you. It just works.
I was going to say, life on the road is good for him then.
Yeah, it is. He at this point, he can't see. He can't hear.
No.
And so it's I think the Guinness Book of World Record for the oldest English bulldog is like 15 and a half. And I'm thinking Lincoln could actually do this,
Oh, wow.
He's a lot of work at this point, but he literally sleeps about 99% of his life.
But when we first started RVing, like the first trip in the motorhome, the movement, he kind of did not like it. And it didn't take but a week or two. And now he sleeps through it. He likes the small quarters. Like Eric said, he can't see or hear. So he always knows where we are. And he likes that. He's very cozy and he's very comfortable in here. Whereas we don't think that would have been the case had we lived in a house and he had the conditions that he has now.
But how weird is it as a dog? Every time you walk out the door, there's like something else out there, It's like, what is going on? What kind of world is that for, But yeah, he is the TechnoRV mascot. He provides lots of inspiration
And entertainment.
to go take a nap.
Are there any resources that you guys would recommend for people that are searching for a business they could run remotely? I know you guys said you use some business brokers. Are there specific ones that focus on remote businesses, or do you just have to kind of go out and search all of them?
Well, you can run a quick search on Google for just like website brokers. And
there's one called Flippa, Flippa, and it's just online businesses. That doesn't necessarily mean completely remote. We eliminated anything with the sticks and bricks. I mean, anything with a brick and mortar, I guess that's what it's called. Storefront, that, you can real quickly eliminate that. But we went through, I think, Latona's, Latonas, website. Yeah, there's a lot out there. I mean, like Eric said, you just have to do your homework because Amazon has grown so large. Now there's a lot of FBA stores, fulfilled by Amazon stores, that you can actually buy where you're not even buying a website per se. You're simply buying that Amazon FBA product, whatever they're selling on Amazon. So you have to kind of really dig deep as to what you're buying. Look for the URL, look for the traffic, look for what they have. But
it's actually fun.
It is fun.
To go look on one of these sites, it'll tell you, hey, here's what their revenue is. It'll give you a little write-up of it. A lot of times it'll tell you what their profit margin is right there on the website. And it'll tell you what they're selling the business for. So a lot of times you can go in there and see a business that maybe revolves around something that you have a passion for. Like if you were like to snowboard or something, there might be a e-commerce site out there that's established, somebody's selling it and they blog about snowboarding or they sell snowboard or whatever it is. So it's actually kind of fun to go out there and look around. And then if you're really interested and serious, then you just, they'll have a process for you to send an email in and say, I'm really interested in this company. You'll sign a non-compete or a confidentiality agreement. And then they'll send you the books, and then you can really get in and dig, talk to the owners. After we did that, we actually flew out to California to meet with the owners because they were doing an RV show and we wanted to kind of see what that was about. So before we bought, we went and met with them, sat in on a show, and I felt like that was helpful for us as well.
I think sometimes it's hard for a person, at least it was for us, to generate an idea for a business. That seemed to be, we just waffled. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? I don't know. We could do this. But fixing an existing business and building it just gave us more structure and kind of got us started to where we wanted to work hard and we wanted to learn. We just could not figure out where to start. So growing and changing and working with an existing business just worked really well for us because we could not quickly figure out how to get it from start from nothing.
Yeah, I imagine that's pretty challenging. But it sounds like what you guys did was also not simple. I mean, it took a lot of work on your part to get it where it is now.
Yeah, it is, but it still worked. I still believe, I think anything is going to be hard, whether you start a business from scratch or you build an existing business or tweak an existing, whatever you're doing to it. I think they're both not easy. It was just a matter of, we needed that kickstart to just lay a good foundation to kind of we changed tons of it. It's not like we kept it the same, but it still gave us some areas that, I don't know, it just got us a good kickstart.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's only one product brand that we have right now that was there when we bought the business. Everything else we've changed. And of course we completely changed the website, the look, the logo, the tagline, pretty much we changed everything. To Tammy's point, it still gave us kind of like the direction of the company, and then we could take it there and go wherever we wanted to with it.
Very cool. Well, I think that's all of our questions for you guys, but is there anything that you would like to share or add that maybe Sean or I missed?
So, I guess anybody that's listening, just like about TechnoRV, we do have an about section on our website. And then as far as information, because we've talked a lot about, we like to provide a lot of information. We do have information guides on our website. If you go to TechnoRV.com, up top, you'll see something that says Learn Here. And we have info guides on Wi-Fi boosting, cellular boosting, electrical protection, tire pressure monitoring, water filtration, really kind of everything that we do. We've written comprehensive guides. So if anybody's interested and they go jump in there and get those. We also have a YouTube channel with a lot of kind of instructional videos on a lot of the products and things like that. So if anybody's interested, they're welcome to go check all that out.
We can link both of them to our website.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Great.
And if people aren't sure exactly about which one of your, like you said, you have 3 GPSs, they'll obviously be able to see a lot of information about those on your website. But if they're still not sure after looking at that, can they call or email and get help on making that best decision for them?
Absolutely. Our tech guy's Tyler's, but there's so many ways that you can get in touch with us. We're not hard to find. Online, we have a chat feature during the day. We have a contact us email online. Our phone number is online. We deal with a lot of customers through Facebook Messenger. They'll just, chat with us straight through our Facebook page. So you can find a YouTube video and leave a comment. We'd be more than happy to help you there. So it's not hard to get in touch with us. If it's a TechnoRV thing, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, website, whatever, you're going to get, someone's going to help you.
Kenny and I really appreciate you guys taking an hour of your day to spend with us. And
Yeah, this is great.
I think you've provided a lot of information, I know for me personally, and also for our listeners. We just want to thank you for taking the time to talk with us today.
You're welcome. We enjoyed it. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, this was great. Yeah, we love the podcast and we're glad to be a part of it.
Before we go, we would like to thank our sponsors, Battleborn Batteries, the best name in the RV and marine industry. These lithium batteries are designed and assembled in the USA and backed by a 10-year warranty. The best solution for your battery anxiety, so go check them out at battlebornbatteries.com.
We want to thank everyone for tuning in to today's episode and want to thank Eric and Tami for coming on the show to give us a behind-the-scenes look of what it takes to run a successful mobile business. For more information on TechnoRV, be sure to check them out at TechnoRV.com.